I don't know if you can see that. I had this whole video planned out and I was very excited for it. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is my plan. This is what I'm gonna do. Everyone's gonna be like, what? But I can't do that because you guys would have figured it out before the end of it, before the surprise. You would have figured it out. So I was not going to be able to just film a really cute, like that was my intent. I'll tell you what my intention was. My intention was I was gonna come on here and I was gonna be like, hey guys, I did a poll and your least favorite trope is the pregnancy trope, so I'm gonna read that. And then at the end, I was gonna be like, so after reading all these pregnancy trope books, like it's just so weird because I'm pregnant. And like it was gonna be this like cute, like adorable. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. We're just gonna get through this video. So yeah, I'm pregnant. I don't know what's worse, breathing in through my nose or breathing in through my mouth, because I feel like I can taste it when I breathe in through my mouth and it like makes me gag more. Just very briefly, a little bit about our story. I was told that I was infertile, and then it came about that I actually had cervical cancer. I had a little bit of a tumor there and that was removed, and a month, or I guess 2 months. So it got removed in December of 2023. My cancer was removed. We did not go through chemo or radiation. They just kind of scraped out as much as they could because, again, we wanted to get pregnant. And so we had that conversation with my doctors. In January, I started to track my ovulation cycle. And then February, I don't know why, but I just didn't track it at all. I just didn't do any of that. A week before my period is supposed to start, I just woke up and was like, I don't know if this is normal. And so I went and took a test and it was inconclusive. The test didn't work. It failed. What is the, como se dice? Like the, well, I had the line test and the, oh gosh, what is the, it's called the, when you have a test, you have a sample to go based off the control line. The control line didn't come up. So the control line didn't come up, but the other line did. And so I was like, this is inconclusive, we need to go. So I woke up my husband at like 5:30 in the morning and told him, and he was like, great, let's go to Walgreens. Walgreens opened at 6:30. So we were just sitting in the parking lot waiting for it to open. We got a like digital box, obviously. And I went home, I took it, and it said pregnant. So that's what happened. There was, I mean, there's so much more to that story. There's so many prayers that were like prayed, I guess. There was just so much. There's so much to that story, but it's a very long and very personal story, and not one that I necessarily want to have immortalized on YouTube. But just so you know, like, we are a Christian household and we gave it to God. And when I was told I was infertile, I said, well, God knows my heart. He knows what I want. And if it's his will, he will find a way. So, and he did. So that's just kind of like a very watered down version of what happened. But don't worry, there was a lot of crying. There was a lot of, I don't understand. And there was just a lot that happened. But all in all, I just feel very happy and blessed. And even though I have had really bad nausea this whole pregnancy, and even though I fall asleep so fast, I need multiple naps a day, I'm so thankful. Just every time I get nauseous, I'm so thankful, because it means that I am carrying a little miracle, and that's pretty darn cool. So anyways, that's that's the story. And with that said, I do still want this to be a reading vlog, and I do still want to use my little idea because I thought it was a cute idea. So I have 3 books from my library. I didn't realize how many books on my shelves that I have. I have like, I want to say 5, maybe more, like 5 off the top of my head that I own that are surprise pregnancy. And I didn't even realize that, which is funny because I'll be honest, I've not read the pregnancy trope, but I imagine I wouldn't like it because it feels kind of like you're using a kid in order to produce a plot. It's just like weird for me, but we have decided to go, except for this one. This was not originally on my shelf. I did go and get this book. I don't know if this is breaking the book buying ban or not, but at Target, we had to get a bunch of household stuff. And you know how sometimes they have those coupons? If you don't have the Target app, you need to go onto the Target app. Sometimes they'll have coupons and it's like, if you buy this, then you'll get like a $15 Target gift card. And so I got one, and my husband's like, well, you just use it whatever you want to use it on. And so I got this. These are all pregnancy trope books. This one is from my romance reveal box. And so, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. And more on that, it's audiobook Kindle Unlimited. So I think I might listen to this now because I took a breath through my mouth and I'm so sorry. This is such a mess. Oh my gosh. I was thinking of, nope. I was thinking I would start off with this book because it's on Kindle Unlimited and I can listen to it. And I thought that that would help me because I'm in bed a very large portion of my day. And I think it'd be fun to just be in bed and like listen to this. So that's probably gonna be my first book that I do. And then this is also on Kindle Unlimited and we love that. It's not one of those audiobook and unlimited ones, but it's still on Kindle Unlimited and that's really great. So I thought this would be a good one. This is out on a limb? Out on a limb? Why would it be in a limb? That is out on a limb. And this is by Hannah Bonham Young, and I've heard very good things about this book, even though it is pregnancy trope. I think Larry Reed's loved it, Steph Bauer loved it. I'm trying to think of like other people who have read this and really liked it, but I'm drawing a blank right now. This is a new book by Cara Bastone. I think it's Cara or it's Cara. I never know, but if you know, I would love to also know. This is Ready or Not, and this is a new book. It was on Book of the Month, and I didn't choose this, and I'm kind of mad that I didn't because everyone who did choose it absolutely loved it. I got dressed for this, just so you guys know. I am now going to go back into my bed. Okay, so I just started this book, like, literally just now. I just started it. I'm 32 pages in, right? Like, this is all that I've read. And I'm super annoyed. I understand a lot of people really like this trope of like tough guy on the outside, but then you get his POV and he's actually like a child and he's very like vulnerable and all this stuff, but he doesn't show that and all of this. Why are you guys so far away? I feel like this is better. I feel like we're talking just the two of us, okay? I understand a lot of people love that trope. A lot of people love that trope. And I get that a lot of people love this whole like oh, it's just an act, like all that stuff. It's very annoying. What is his name even? Beckham Sullivan. Okay, so Beckham is adopted. He found his birth parents, and they have this very sad story of how his birth parents got pregnant when they were just kids, and so they put him up for adoption, and he kind of bounced around, and he's got this like tragic backstory until the Sullivans found him and adopted him, and all is well. But he hasn't like told them that he's found his adoptive parents, I think. And I also think his adoptive, like not his adoptive parents, his biological parents, sorry, that's, yeah. He hasn't told his adoptive parents that he found his biological parents. And he goes and he visits his biological dad in some sort of nursing home type of thing, I think. And, yeah. He's just like going on and on and on, talking to his biological dad, girl, her name's Lennon, and he's like talking about like how annoying she is. Obviously, like they like each other. This is very clear. This is very obvious. They like each other. It is what it is. Micah, can you stop walking around? Sorry, my dog is just walking. Words mean nothing. I don't care what your words say. I do care about your actions. And so if you're gonna say stuff, then back it up with those actions. You know what I mean? Like, because at this point, like literally at this point, he seems like a coward. Like I'm 32 pages in and already he feels like a coward. Like, oh, I couldn't tell you, even though I'm vulnerable for everybody else, I can't do it for you because I'm a man and I don't talk about that stuff. Except when I do. But I really do feel it. And then also, there was another thing. They were describing his house, and there was like this weird monologue about his house. And he's like, yeah, I could get a bigger place, but it's just me. Like, why would I do that? It's just me and my cat. By the way, I didn't even want the cat. But my elderly neighbors couldn't take care of the cat, so I took it. Because that's the kind of guy I am. But I'm also going to tell you to F off. Like, bro, you have so many red flags. So many red flags. Do you know who's not a nice guy? The guys who say that they're a nice guy. I don't know. Already this guy is annoying me and I'm only 32 pages in. She deserves better. We're just going to carry through and see if my opinions change. Because that's happened before. Okay, sorry. Me again. I'm back. Okay, again, we're not far into this. I'm now on page 39, so I've literally only gotten 7 more pages in. But this is what I'm talking about. They're supposed to work together on this project, okay? He just found out that she got hired at his company, and they're supposed to work together on some project. I don't even know what they do together, but, I mean, to be fair, like, I don't know what most people do at their jobs. Like, I couldn't tell you what my husband does at his job, and I could not tell you what my best friend does at her job. I just know that they have jobs, so that's all. And I feel like that's important enough that I don't need to answer any more questions. Anyways, so they're together on a project. They were supposed to have a lunch meeting to go over said project, and instead he was a complete jerk. The whole time he was a jerk, and he knew he was being a jerk. He just continued to be a jerk. So she went and talked to their boss and was like, listen, I don't think it's gonna work. Like, we have a history together. I just don't think that this is a good fit. Take me off. Find someone else. And it gets back to him. Obviously, it got back to him. And so he confronts her and he's like, how could you do that? Like, don't do that ever again. And then he's like, come here. And she's like, I'm not a dog. And he's like, yeah, but you're acting like one. And she was like, and so then they go into his office, close the door, and she's like, don't ever talk to me like that ever again, especially in my place of work. Like, what is wrong with you? And then they're having this tit for tat. He's like, I'm always going to call you out on your BS. That's not calling people out on their BS, just so you know. That is not calling someone out on their BS, okay? That's not how you do it. It's not appropriate. It's not okay. You're at their place of work. I don't care how somebody is acting. You're at their place of work. It's that, like, don't sink to their level. Like, just because you've pointed something out doesn't mean you're any better. And I feel like there was just a better way of going about this. You know, he could have started off with, hey, I'd really like to talk. If we could please have a conversation. It didn't go as planned. I was shocked to find out you work at this company. So many other things that he could have done. Instead, he decided to call her a female dog. So then their boss comes in to his office and she's like, great, glad that you're both here. I'd like to talk about this. And she's like, I want you to take on, not only do I want to keep you on this project, but I also want you to fly out together to go to this other client, meet with this client, and secure the client together. You both will work together if I have to force it. And that I don't also like, because as a boss, you should be able to see people's pros and cons and who can work with who and who can't work with who and all of that stuff. You're not a kindergarten teacher teaching kids how to share and play nice. You know what I mean? Like you're their boss, you're their mentor, you're the person that they go to. You're not a friend, and you have to have that sort of division. And so this just, to me, it just screams like you two are acting like children, and therefore I will treat you like children. And that is gross. But this is what I'm talking about, where Beckham has like 2 personalities or something. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna read this to you, okay? I'm just gonna read this to you very quickly. I've always felt a particular kind of comfort in the water. I suppose that's why I find myself in the apartment's pool doing laps at a ridiculously late hour. I'm not nearly as pissed off as I was this morning when I learned that Lennon had gone to Jackie to complain about me. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not paraphrasing. I'm changing some words because he uses some language. But I am still frustrated at the whole convoluted situation. I know it's my fault, not hers. If you know it's your fault and not hers, why did you treat her like a piece of dirt on the bottom of your shoe and demand and I have to accept responsibility. Oh, you do? Now we're just accepting responsibility. Now everything's fine. Now we're just, we're going to be adults now. I haven't given her any indication that I'll be easy to work with. If I were in her position, I would have done the same thing. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm actually talking about. Beckham is possibly the worst male character I have ever read in my entire life. It is so disgusting that not only is he admitting he'd do the same thing if someone treated him that poorly, but it's the hypocrisy. Like, the amount of hypocrisy. Like, what is wrong with this man? What is wrong with this man that he thinks it's not a big deal that he treats her like garbage, like literal garbage? But the second she stands up for herself, the second she's like, you know what? I don't want to be treated this way. It's not okay. You will respect me. He like throws it in there. She's like, I worked really hard to get here. And he's like, oh, did you? Or did mommy and daddy just pay your way up? And she's like, excuse you. Why are we so pretentious now? She certainly doesn't owe me any sort of loyalty, and I haven't acted like I want it. So why does it feel like she's betrayed me in some way? Because you're narcissistic. That's why. Because you're a narcissistic person. That would be why. I can't wrap my head around how I feel. I thought I was over her, but I moved past that part of my life, but clearly I didn't resolve things as easily as I believed. My thoughts begin to spiral as I wonder what she thinks of all of this. What were her immediate thoughts when she saw me again for the first time? Maybe she was happy to see me, and I don't know what that means. I shat? I don't know what that means. All over it? I'm gonna have to Google what that means. Anyways, I've been selfish, not even stopping for a moment to consider her feelings in all this. And then it gets worse. After 3 laps in the pool, my body can't take any more, which means I should have no problem passing out the moment my head hits the pillow. Forgoing the stairs, I heft my body out of the water and grab my towel off the chaise? I don't know what that is. Okay, here we go. This is the part that I was like, who wrote this? Climbing into bed, I swear my whole body does a sigh of relief. I definitely pushed it too hard in the pool tonight, but I can't bring myself to care. That's a regret that tomorrow's Beckham will have to deal with. Even though my body is at the brink of exhaustion, and it's way past the hour when I'd normally go to sleep, my mind won't shut up. I've been thinking about Lennon when I shouldn't be. I don't like this guy. Rant over. We're gonna go back to reading. This isn't even that long of a book. No. This is not how this works. They did the Devil's Tango. Then the next day they fly home. Possibly a day later, he meets up with his mother for lunch. She asks him to look out for Lennon, and they met up for lunch. He got fried pickles, which by the way are delicious. And now she's in the bathroom complaining that maybe she has food poisoning. The way it doesn't work that fast. The way it doesn't. It's not even been a full week. It's been like a couple days, like 3 days at the tops. After you've done the Devil's Tango, you don't immediately, like, it takes a second, okay? I promise you, that's why you're able, the next day, you're able to make sure it doesn't happen at all. YouTube's not gonna like this video. I'm 27% in. We're on page 90. We're making moves. We're making moves. I just have to stop a lot because I'm like, what? Okay, so I finished the book and I understand the concept of surprise pregnancy. I understand the concept of one night stands gone wrong. I get that. I no judgment there. But she doesn't seem very excited about this baby. Like, she talks a lot about her emotions surrounded by what's his name again? Beckham. She's very, like, there's a lot of emotions with Beckham. Beckham has a lot of emotions about Lennon, but it appears like the baby's almost like a hair color at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, I don't know, it's so strange to me. And Beckham does so many things that, in my opinion, are huge red flags. Huge. For instance, he lies constantly, and he forces Lennon to lie and keep up this ruse. And she's said it multiple times. I feel uncomfortable leading people on, letting them think something that's not true. And he's like, yeah, but it'd be better for my image. I would appear better. And I'm so confused because, like, he sees how her parents treat her and how their appearance matters and how what people think of them matters. And yet, and he's sitting there like, oh, they're trash, they're garbage, like, how could they do this to their daughter? Bro, you're doing the same thing. You are literally doing the same thing to her. Like, constantly making her lie so that your image appears better. That's the same thing that her parents were doing, being like, you need to get married because what will the neighbors think? Like, it's disgusting. It's so frustrating to me. And then, yeah, and then the book ends and Beckham is still controlling. He's still worried about his image. He's still worried about how people think of him. He's not changed. Girl, you need to leave this man. You need to seek a lawyer and run away, because this is in February for Valentine's Day. I was going to do one of those like are they still together? And I was going to do like the books that I had read that like in January and the partial February. I was going to do books that I've read, and I was going to see if that couple was still together. They're definitely not together. 110%. They don't make it. They do not make it. Like, no, they do not make it. He's horrible. He's a horrible person. He's a horrible human being. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. It is 9:19 right now, so I'm not going to read tonight, but tomorrow I'm probably going to start out on a limb. If I do read any bit, I will probably just read like a couple pages of this, because I'm already really tired, and I still sleep a lot. I sleep so much. So, yeah. Like, that audiobook took me the whole entire day
to listen to, even though it was only 4 hours long. It was 4 hours and it took me all day to listen to that. I just could not. I kept taking naps. I finished this book and I was not expecting this. This was so good. So if you are not familiar with this book is about Beau and Winifred. Oh my gosh. Winifred. He calls her Fred though. It's super cute. Anyways, Beau had bone cancer and so he lost part of his leg. And Winifred, she was born with an underdeveloped hand, and so they meet at a Halloween party, they hit it off really well, and then she finds out that she's pregnant and she has to contact him. There's a lot of like complications along that way, but this book really was a great romance book. It at no point, it felt very much like the baby is not the reason why they are together. Like it didn't feel that way. It felt that way with this. With this book, it felt like the only reason why they got together is because of this child. Otherwise, they both would have stayed immature. But with this one, it felt like they both already had chemistry and they both already liked each other and wanted to be with each other. And because of the baby, Winifred puts up, I don't know why I keep calling her Winifred. Everybody refers to her as Win or Winnie. But anyways, she puts up all of these boundaries, all of these walls, and is like, look, we're not going to go into a relationship. Like, we're not doing this. I'm not starting a relationship with you just because I'm having your kid. It just was a really nice story of them getting to know each other, asking questions, and it really delves into the relationship part of having a child. And I thought that was just so beautifully done in this one compared to the other one that I read. And I think that like if all the pregnancy trope books were like this book, I would read them all the time. This is like the best romance book I've ever read. Like, I don't know how to explain this. It's just very well written. So yeah, definitely do read this. I'm trying to get this in because this is actually the whole reason for this. Well, no, this is not the whole reason. The actual baby inside me is the whole reason. But I really wanted to read this because it's a new book that came out by Cara Bastone, and it's Ready or Not. I think her name is Cara. This book was a book of the month pick, and some of my friends got it, and they absolutely loved it. They said that it was super adorable. Oh, for Jordan and Lauren, pregnancy would have been a lot more confusing without you. Okay, so this author has clearly already had a kid because they're dedicating it. And I don't know if that's focusing or not, but it says stuff. I'm gonna try and get to this today. I'm hoping that I get to this today, and then I can just like finish this and wrap this up because this is taking a very long time to do. All right, so this book right here. I think I'm going to softly DNF this book. Just hold on, let me turn off the heater. I do think that I am going to softly DNF this book just because I think I'm too pregnant right now. I think that the hormones are just a little too strong, and I don't think I could read this and not be stressed out. And I have to be de-stressed because I am on bed rest, so I cannot spike my heart rate as many times as I have. I read this in the doctor's office. I was just sitting in the waiting room. My doctor was a little behind. They were still with other patients, and so I read 6 chapters, which is about 16%, and I don't see myself in this moment continuing because everyone is unbearable, like everyone, and I can't root for any of these people. I read this much, and the amount of stress that I was getting from just reading the first 60 pages. I read 60 pages of this. I think I'm just gonna softly, I might come back to it, I might, but at this point, I just don't see myself being able to continue. And let me just explain a little bit as to why, okay? So we have our main character, her name is Eve Hatch. I think this book started strong, but then it just crashed and burned because this main character, first of all, makes a lot of excuses for everyone around her. And she does catch herself at one point being like, why am I apologizing for other people falling short? And it is this moment where, you know, like she does have this moment of like, wait, why am I doing this? And I really do like that. I really do like that she had that moment. But I feel like this book started here and then within 5 chapters, like very slowly just kept going down and down and down. Her best friend that she moved to New York City with, her name is Willa. I just felt like this main character, there's just so much working against her. I feel like this author just does not like her at all for some reason. Her parents had her when they were in her they were in their 50s, and she was clearly an accident. All of her brothers are just kind of like, she's not very close to any of her siblings. She doesn't really have anyone to talk to. And so she's got her best friend, Willa. Willa has an older brother. His name is Shep, and their mom passed away from, I believe, cancer. It probably goes deeper into it much later into the story, but the first bits of it, I just know that she got sick and she passed away. It's been about a year since that mom has passed, and Willa and Shep's mother was very much a mom to Eve as well. And so she desperately misses her, wants that advice, wants that maternal connection, all of that stuff. Eve's parents are long gone. They've passed away from old age. And so they passed away when she was in college. I think she was like a freshman in college when they passed, but anyways, it really wasn't, like, she didn't have a great relationship with them. She really was this, like, surprise child. They didn't know what to do with her. Like, they're in their 50s, and so it was just strange for them to have to like do all of that again. Like, all of their kids were already out of the house, and now they've got this other random child. And so I just feel like there was so much against this character, you know, like there was just so much thrown, and it's just too much to get within the first 8% of the book. You're just getting all of this backstory. And it's so much, and the whole time the main character Eve, she's just making these deprecating jokes about herself and laughing it off and all this stuff. And I'm just like, this is a serious moment. Can we make it a serious moment? Because I feel like there's so much happening, and I need someone to take this seriously, because this seems like a lot. And I understand people, that's how people deal with trauma. People joke. I joke with trauma all the time. That's not what I'm saying is off. What I'm saying is everything in this book is a joke. Everything that people have done to her is a joke. And like, it's to the point where it's like, hey, can you recognize, just 1 second, can you recognize that these people are treating you horrifically? And so she goes and she tells her best friend Willa that she's pregnant, and Willa's devastated. Because Willa and her husband, I can't remember his name, but they have been trying to conceive for a while. They've been married, they've been trying to conceive, and it's not working. Willa's had some not great pregnancies in the past where they weren't viable, and so she's very emotional about this, and she's upset that Eve is pregnant. She's just upset. And I guess I could understand the initial reaction of being shocked and surprised of, how is this fair? Like, I've been trying for years and you tried 0 times and it happened. Like, I'm very confused. But I just am so disappointed. This is your best friend and you have all of this information from when you've been trying to conceive. Give it to her. Like, why are you I understand being sad, but this is not the moment. Like, this is not your moment. And later in the book, Willa calls her and she's like, I'm sorry you just sprang it on me. Like, you just gave me that information and it was a lot to handle. And Eve's like, she wants me to apologize. I'm not apologizing that I'm pregnant. And
Then she goes and tells the bartender that she had a one-night stand with, and he's like, I have a girlfriend and I'm in love with her and I'm gonna propose. And we were on a break.
We were on a break!
And so I had the one-night stand, but then she came back and I can't do this. And it's just everyone around her has failed her, it feels like. And I just don't think that right now, when I am pregnant and highly hormonal, I just don't see myself being able to continue this in this moment. So I think I am just gonna set that down. But, you know, I did at least finish these 2 books, and I love this book. I think this is such a phenomenal book, and I do think that everybody should read it. Wow. This was so good of a book. This is fantastic. This one, I mean, it was kind of cheesy. It was not kind of, very cheesy and very like, okay. I didn't really like the guy in this. I felt like I just wanted to be like, hey, just for a second, could you stop making this sexual? That'd be great. Thank you. Could you actually just be there supportively? Like, thank you. This one, I think the guy was just fantastic. He's just such a wonderful, wonderful male lead in this one. And then this one, I can't, like, I know, like, the brother's best, you know, the best friend's brother or whatever, Shep, he's great, like, he's wonderful. I can't root for him because I don't want Willa in her life anymore. Like, Willa is just so disappointing of a character. Like, she went to go tell the bartender that she's knocked up, and Willa doesn't show up because she got her period. Girl. Like, I'm so sorry. No. You should be joyful, you should be excited, and you should be happy. And I think that, like, pregnancy is just a whole, like, it's a scary thing. It's petrifying. I'm scared that if I sneeze too hard that I'm going to, like, do something horribly awful for this child. And so I cannot imagine having absolutely no support, like, zero support. And I understand Shep is being supportive, but that's not the support that she was going for. That's not the support that she was looking for. She wanted her friend to support her, and she wanted the father's child to support her, and for both of them to be like, sorry, we don't have space for you, sorry. Like, that is just heartbreaking. So anyways, that's really the end of this video, and I am hoping to be posting a lot more regularly. I just don't know how this is going to end up. I might end up posting just once a week for a little bit, just because it did take me a whole week and a half just to read those 3 books. It's been not great. I sleep all the time, which is kind of weird because I sleep a lot and people, like, congratulate me for sleeping as much as I do. But yeah, that's kind of what's been going on a lot. So I think I'm gonna end it off here. It is kind of late at night, but I did just wake up from a nap, so I mean, there you go. And so I think I'm gonna end it here, and I will see you guys in another video. Again, I'm so sorry. I'm hoping this clears up everything and that you understand why I have been, like, MIA for a bit, because first trimester is weird and I just am sick a lot and I don't want to be on camera a lot. So I'm gonna go now, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of the good stuff, and I'll see you next time.